Hello and welcome to the David Robinson episode of the Hoop Theory Podcast, aka episode 50. My name is Logan Wortman, and as usual, I'm joined by my dazzling co-host, Jacob Roth. Jacob, we're here. We made it. Episode 50. How's it feel?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. Also, you know what else feels pretty good? When a team that talked a lot of smack doesn't shoot insane from the three-point line and gets bent over a table by Serbia.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. Serbia is looking really good. Honestly, they might
without their best player.
Yeah,
that's the best part.
If Jokic, I mean, I knew they would be good because like they're just
they've got
a
lot of
team.
guys. Yeah, Jokic isn't their only guy, but he would be their best
for sure. Yeah, if he was there, I think they would be the favorite to like even over the U.S. possibly.
Because the U.S. also has started for this or everything. They don't really send out like the A team. They send out. The A-team players don't always go.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have Jason Tatum and Anthony Davis playing for Team USA.
Mm-hmm.
And those are, like, there's some guys that you could argue are worse than Jason Tatum and Anthony Davis on Team USA this year.
Wait, what? I'm very confused.
I was trying to make, like a joke because, like, there's, like, Brandon Ingram is literally just a worse Jason Tatum. Just, like, straight up.
Uh-huh.
Like, and I was just saying that, like, obviously that it's not, like, the best players in the entire United States. Never mind.
Yeah. I was just confused by you could argue that there's worse players.
It was supposed to be a dumb joke.
Okay. I gotcha. But yeah, I think it's also, we're kind of in between eras a little bit with like some of the main guys in the NBA. They're kind of like the old guard now with Steph and KD and LeBron. And those guys just don't do as much international play, especially when it's like FIBA instead of Olympics. But I'd be curious to see how many of those guys are playing next year for the Olympics. That'll be interesting. I bet Tatum probably will.
I also wonder if LeBron tries to as like a last
run.
This would be his last Olympics where he would be like him, like that type of guy.
Like a starter, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, this is because that's 4 more years and we're already like.
He'd be 43 at that point. Or no, because next summer he'll be 40. Oh, he'll be 39 and a half. So he'll be 43 and a half.
But
by the next time.
And I wouldn't be shocked though if LeBron is still around the NBA as in like playing or like maybe not playing, because I wonder if LeBron's the guy that when he's not starting, he's done. He doesn't do that weird like turn into a sixth man.
Well, he at 43 and a half, I could see him still starting in the NBA, but I don't know about starting on an Olympic team,
which is like an all.
Everybody's a starter.
Team. Yeah,
that plays for that team base. I mean, even this team, which you just said is like our C team, we have one person. Yeah, one person or 2 people, I guess, if you count Kessler. Which he's like kind of 50-50 on whether he starts.
He's like a situational. He starts if you've got a problem.
Yeah, in the NBA
defensively, yeah,
and he might be starting this next year in his sophomore season, but. Him and Portis are the 2 guys that don't really start. Both of them play like very, very
20s.
High level minutes, like starter level minutes about. So, and that's our C team. But yeah, we just watched our C team, I put in air quotes, completely throttle the Italians, who were led by Walker Kessler's teammate in the NBA, Simone Fontecchio, which I was kind of surprised that they didn't have any other like current NBA guys. I guess Gallo's kind of old, probably still nursing his ACL. Yeah. So he wasn't playing. But yeah, Fontecchio has been really good for them all tournament long. And he fouled out this game, but he had 18 points. I believe they were showing a graphic early in the game about how he's actually leading all of FIBA in points like off of screens.
Oh.
Like, so he's like, which basically means that he's the number 1 option when you're getting screens set for you all the time. You know, you're coming off screens, handling the ball. I think it was him up there at number 1. I think Anthony Edwards was number 3. So I'm guessing Luka has to be in there somewhere. I'm guessing Luka's probably number 2. But yeah, we're still waiting to see that game. Slovenia versus Canada. That'll be tomorrow.
That'll be a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a very fun one.
The last time we talked, though, was after the first 2 games of FIBA play, 2 U.S. games, that is. And so we haven't gone through that Jordan game or Montenegro or Lithuania or this Italian one that just happened. So we'll start at the beginning chronologically with Jordan, who Jacob and many people on NBA Twitter have been calling left-handed Kobe, Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. The magic kind of started to wear off a little bit in this game because he rolled his ankle pretty bad. I think that was in the first half, if my memory serves correctly.
I think so.
But he ended with 20 points in 36 minutes. He had 7 rebounds, 3 assists. So, but he's like the end all be all for them. Like he's the one who's putting the ball in the basket. We won that game 110-62. So I think that was our most lopsided victory of this whole run so far. The Jaren Jackson Jr. foul tracker that I've been doing, this was his best game. He only had 1 foul in this one, which now that I'm reminded of that, I need to look at the one for today. Yeah, so he had 3 in this game, spoiler alert. But then a player of the game, I've been handing out a player of the game for all of these games so far. This one was, I think, the guy that's had the most so far now. He had 3 in a row, spoiler alert. So this is the first one of those 3, and that is Anthony Edwards. So he ended with 22 points in only 19 minutes, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. And then Bobby Portis, he was another guy that had a big game in this one. In 16 minutes, he had 13.6 rebounds, 3 steals. Brandon Ingram, this was the first game where they changed the starting lineup.
Yeah. Which they announced almost comically moments after our last recording. Like, we get off, I go upstairs, I hop on Twitter, and then they they're shuffling up the starting lineup. And I was like, awesome.
Yeah. Great timing on that one, honestly. But I think because we talked about Ingram needing to get more touches in the pick and roll.
Yep.
Which,
he was because he was the one that said, I feel like I'm not being used correctly.
Yeah.
And we were both like, well, yeah, you're not.
Yeah.
For sure.
Exactly. But the thing is, in both units, there's guys second unit obviously is probably more conducive for him having more touches. But there's still a lot of guys that deserve touches in the second unit as well. Our second unit is basically a starting unit.
And they've played together.
So it's kind of tough, but I think he's been doing better ever since that change, for sure. Still not as good as you would have hoped or you would have thought going into this, but definitely closer to his normal self than he looked in the first several games of Team USA play. And Anthony Edwards it's just so surprising to me how clear it is who everybody on this team believes the guy is and knows the guy is. You know what I mean? They are getting him the ball in every situation. There's plays where, especially in that Lithuanian game, he there's a lot of plays where he just took some shots that I was like, why are you taking that? Ant-Man, it was there's other all-stars on this team, and people are fighting to get second chances, and then they're kicking it back out to him, and he's just taking a contested pull-up jumper from 3. I'm like, all right. But it's surprising, though, even after he's taking his shot selection, taking all those shots, his teammates are still looking for him, for all of those opportunities, more than they are looking for anybody else. Which just, I think, shows, I don't know if it's that's that actual game plan thing that Kerr has instilled, hey, everybody, he's the guy, we're getting the ball to him, or if it's just kind of natural.
Well, I feel like Kerr, because he's coached quite a few of these international teams, or been a part of the coaching of.
Yeah, this is his first head coaching position. But.
Yeah. But it feels like they never pick a guy and say, this is our guy the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it is part Kerr. But the other thing that I thought was interesting, and I thought that was honestly one of like the worst parts of the Lithuania game, as we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but like outside of that game, I feel like Ant did a pretty good job of like not touching and I'm going for immediate scoring. He was like an active player in the offense that just did. In that Lithuania game, I feel like he was more, I'm gonna just put this up.
Mm-hmm.
More than the other games.
Yeah, he took a lot more shots that one for sure.
But so I feel like maybe that's also part of why is because like if you get it to Ant, the offensive possession isn't over. He's not just gonna go. And so maybe it's like not that anybody's been like that, but maybe that's like part of the reason that they keep looking at him like, oh, he probably won't take just crazy bad shots over and over and over again. But he kind of did in the Lithuania game. So
yeah,
and they also shot like crazy. So shout out to them. But
yeah, that's very true. But yeah, so the starting lineup change that they made though was they put Josh Hart in the starting lineup instead of Brandon Ingram, which Hart is just like a super interesting guy to choose to put into the starting lineup. But I think I like it because it's like, you know, he's not a guy that's going to need touches or like going to need, you know, reps in any sort of way. He's just like, I'm going to go get every 50-50 ball. I'm going to go, you know, just out rebound everybody else, get a second chance opportunities and play my role. And that's what he's doing. Yeah.
And it gives him like that really small 4 because he rebounds like an insane person.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives them that little bump there too on their first unit, where their second unit usually didn't struggle with that as much because they had like a true, like kind of a true center. This team doesn't have one outside of Kessler. That's it. And so like on the first unit, they really just didn't have they had a Jaren Jackson Jr., but
his weakness is very famously rebounding. Like that's his like main weakness as a big man.
That was a little bit of the Band-Aid. And I think the flow was really good too, because like it took a guy that it pretty much just leveled like where the ball could go. Cause we talked about Brandon Ingram needing more of that pick, like more set up offense. And Josh Hart was like, I don't really care. I'm just here.
Yeah, that's definitely not his type of his game plan or what he does on the court.
Yeah, so it literally just was like spreading the guys that need that directed offense into 2 units instead of having kind of 3 guys in the first unit and almost none in the second. That need like a directed offense that runs through them. And that's not a bad thing. There's just some guys that do that. Whether it's through pick and rolls or through ice or whatever, they don't just like, they're not Clay. They don't just show up and like, okay, I'm here
plug
catch
and play.
Shoot. Yeah. But I think it was a very smart move by Kerr in terms of like the mismatch. And it was a weird person, but the more you think about it, I'm like, it helps with the rebounding. It lets them put like who do we run the ball through? Like if we need to give it to a guy on offense,
the structure makes more sense. Yeah.
That's a sentence that could have just cut out all of the rambling I just did. The structure makes infinitely more sense.
Yeah. He's just playing a role. Josh Hart in there. He's like the only guy in the starting lineup that's really a role player. Other than like Jaren Jackson Jr. you can kind of call a role player in some ways, but
just really elite one.
Yeah, really elite one. But yeah, so and in Hart's first start, in 18 minutes, he logged 2 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 assists. So yeah, pretty successful game from him. And then we had Montenegro in the next game, and that one started off pretty poorly. They were beating us pretty good at the beginning, and they had who was their point guard? He was a guy who used to play in the G League. Kendrick Perry, I think was his name. He was an American. So him and Vucevic were like the 2 stars for that team. And also they had Marko Simonovic, who's on the Bulls as well. I don't think he's really played hardly at all in the NBA yet, but I think he was a rookie just this past year. But he right away in this game, because we have Josh Hart at the 4, like you mentioned, Simonovic is 6'11" at their 4 versus Josh Hart 6'4" at the 4. So their game plan right away was to take advantage of that mismatch and they were feeding Simonovic in the post. And something that I just like took note of and I kind of liked, honestly, was, most people, and including the broadcasters, most people, when they see something like that and they're like, oh, they're taking advantage of this mismatch, they think that they need to counter that by bringing in one of the bigs that they do have, like a Bobby Portis or a Paulo Banchero, to put in there to match it. But instead of doing that, the first substitution that Kerr made was taking Jaren Jackson Jr. out and putting Paulo Banchero in, so getting even smaller, bringing Paulo in at the 5 and going like all small ball.
Which is there a coach that would like be like, you'd look at him and be like, wait, I think I've seen this before.
That's very true, honestly.
Out of like all the coaches to do it, Steve Kerr was this like, okay, I get it. I get where it came from. It makes sense.
Yeah. So you just kind of fully leaned into the size disadvantage, basically. Yeah.
And then pretty much made the size disadvantage and advantage, and they just didn't run them off the floor, but they literally just were like, we'll just be faster than you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they started putting started getting more switches like with Anthony Edwards onto Simonovic, which Anthony Edwards has really impressed me so far in this whole tournament, where when he gets switches or even sometimes like full on assignments for some plays in a row where he's put on, like at the end of this game, end of the Montenegro game, they had Edwards guarding Vucevic straight up. Like that was the assignment, because he was like fronting him in the post. And then even when Vucevic gets him in a post-up situation, Edwards is like really sturdy, and like
it brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah, he's been good on both ends.
Been watching some DPOY Marcus Smart tape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly,
because that's almost like exactly what it looked like.
His build is even like it's a
football player build. Who'd thunk?
Yeah, it's like a Marcus Smart. Not times 2, obviously, but it's like stepped up a couple notches, in terms of the size.
No, yeah. And for those, maybe people don't know, Anthony Edwards would have been an insanely good football player.
Oh, yeah.
Like, was offered to play basketball and football at Georgia. They tried to get him to do both while he was there. Mm-hmm. If people didn't know. I feel like we bring that up all the time, but I don't know if we've ever said. I don't want to say, I think he was either a 5-star or a 4-star football player.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what position he played.
Quarterback.
Oh, was he?
I believe.
I know Jalen Suggs. I know Jalen Suggs was a 5-star quarterback, which is interesting to think about. If you think about like any NBA player, Jalen Suggs is kind of a random one to think about as a football player, But
yeah,
he would be a really good quarterback. He's like 6'5". How many? What?
Who are we talking about?
Jalen Suggs.
Oh, yeah. No, he was.
Yeah, he was a 5-star quarterback in high school, coming out of high school.
Okay, really? This Wikipedia only has his basketball. He was a 5-star basketball recruit out of Atlanta.
Yeah. But that would be interesting to see. I have seen though that he, like in an interview, he said that he would have gone pro in any sport that he was going to do. Like he said that he would go to the MLB if he played baseball, which he might be true, honestly. And that's an interesting conversation that we maybe should get into sometime about like what sport is it that's like the most exclusive, like the one that's like if anybody could do, like anybody that can be in this league is in that league, like that, the highest rate.
It's basketball.
I think it is, honestly.
No, it's not close. There's been like football players that have talked about this because if they could play basketball, they would.
Okay. I just think that basketball probably has the most unique or most like stringent parameters on how a human
getting
has to
past
be
like
built.
golf and all, but like in terms of like these big like physical run, like it's definitely basketball.
Yeah.
No, and also the physicals of basketball.
It's like the size combined with the athleticism and the physicality.
Granted, I don't think an NBA could make an 11 or 22 man football team and be that good. I don't think that would work. But I feel like their game would be better. And like this is a weird, dumb hypothetical, but like track with me. listeners and viewers, and Logan. So, like, if the NBA were to be like, we're making a football team, and they just trot out the best football squad they possibly could, the NFL team would slaughter them.
If you're talking all NFL team, right?
No, not like even the worst NFL team.
Okay, that's what I wanted to say.
Like the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.
So last year it would have been who had the number one? Oh, the Panthers.
Okay.
Would have buried them. But if the NBA's...
Is that because the linemen, you think? That's the hardest thing to probably get from NBA players?
And I like... Yes, that's a big part of it. I also feel like there's a lot more than just the line. But the line would be the most apparent when it's like, because you know what wins in football? The low man. And you know what the NBA doesn't have with weight and size? The low man.
That makes sense.
Like, and obviously they're freak athletes.
Yeah.
The whole point I was trying to say is then if the NBA were to send, like, who would we call the worst team in the NBA?
Could be the Spurs or the Pistons, the Rockets. Might be a worse one. One of those probably. We'll just go with the Spurs.
We'll just go with the Spurs. Okay. The NFL makes it all let's play basketball. And they play the Spurs.
Wizards, actually. Let's do Wizards.
Okay. They play the Wizards. And maybe I don't know what football players got. I just feel like that's uglier.
Mm-hmm.
Like
you think it's which one's uglier?
The football players trying to go play basketball.
Oh, okay, okay. There we go. I thought you were saying the opposite at first. So I was like, wait,
no,
I don't agree. But yeah, I agree with that.
Because like it's just a different thing you have to do.
Very different, yeah. Just thinking about football players like trying to like somebody running point guard from a football team.
No, also I think the all football team it would be a bunch of tight ends. That's what it would be. They'd have like probably like I don't know football players that played like basketball. They'd have somebody play point, and then there would be 4 tight ends just doing things.
Yeah,
because that's the only way you could get height wise. Because 6'7" is like a giant human in the NFL.
Yeah.
And to get a 6'7" person.
That's literally the average height in the NBA.
Run with NBA guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like physically run. Not like, run with us on this. No, physically be able to like keep up with them up and down the court. Doesn't happen. Because like 6'7" is like your left tackle or your guard. Like these are giant people.
Mm-hmm.
It just would be a nightmare. That's why I think you'd have to run tight ends.
Mm-hmm. To get the most size and speed.
Football would bury playing football. It would be ugly. But I think, like, if you play like a game to 21, I don't know if the NFL like scores a lot.
I think that NFL or that football team made out of NBA players has more potential to be good. If you think about, like, if you just like,
went
into a whole season
ugly. No, it would be. But they would go 0-17. It would be ugly.
The thing is, if you took like Daniel Tice and Usman Garuba and like Zion Williamson and like, you know, a bunch of those people and just like physically trained them to be like linemen, you know what I mean? Like they went
like
through
over like
an
years,
off season,
one off season.
Or like, you know,
to put on weight.
They have like a 4-season plan of like, we're playing in the NFL with this team, you know? I just feel like with like having a quarterback, like Jalen Suggs is probably the quarterback. I don't know who else would run quarterback for that team, but this is wild that we're talking about this right now.
No, it's an interesting premise.
But yeah,
it's a theory, a hoop theory.
Yeah. But having Jalen Suggs as the quarterback and then like pick, like, it's got to be the best wide receiver core, probably.
He was a quarterback. Anthony Edwards was.
Oh, okay. But wouldn't you say like the NBA could make up a better wide receiver core probably than any NFL team has? Or at least close?
Yeah.
Because like that'd be I think that's the most, that's like the biggest position that you would have like an advantage in. Because you just have like giant athletic people that can whose catch radius is like, you know,
No, that's why it would be closer
a
than
tennis
the
court.
NFL playing basketball would be way uglier because of the receivers that the NBA playing football would have.
Yeah.
And tight ends. And no. And especially if you have somebody competent to throw the football and is fast enough to run around and just run 4 verts all game. Not actually, you couldn't actually do that. But it would be bring Amon Shumpert out of retirement.
To run wide receiver? Is that what
Oh, yeah. No, just because also that's another thing in the NFL. Corners, usually not the big guys. Like sometimes the smaller side.
Corners, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
aren't they usually like 5'10", 6 foot?
6 is like a tallish one.
Oh, okay.
And players are getting bigger. But yeah, it would be they're upper 6 foot, but like Steph Curry is taller than your corner. That's kind of crazy. You know?
Mm-hmm.
On average, obviously. I think Derwin James is like he's a safety that you didn't know, like best safety in the NFL. It's like 6'2", but the NBA if like you gave but see then I wonder if you gave the NFL an entire offseason to be like, we're doing this.
To play basketball?
Yeah. I have more faith than I previously did.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there would be better, but I just don't see. Like, give me an NFL player that would be a competent point guard, like playing against NBA
Russell
players.
Wilson.
Can he handle the ball very like?
No, see, that's the thing that basketball players also feel like they need to say that they can do all this stuff in terms of like, I'm able to also golf and play football and do all these other things. NBA, you don't really hear about, or NFL, you never really hear about it. I have no idea. I know Antonio Gates played basketball in college.
It's just every NFL player that I've seen videos of like, oh, look at this guy, he could hoop. Like, could Myles Garrett make it in the NBA? And like when they dribble the ball.
No. Well, that's also because he's playing, and the reason people say he can hoop is because he like de-backboarded a hoop. He just was like so.
And he's pretty skilled. Like he looks kind of like a Zion Williamson. Ish, but like not as skilled with the ball. Like Zion against a team of NFL players would be like far and away the best point guard skilled player. I feel like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
Zion's not really necessarily a point guard in the NBA, but he would be way more suited to play point guard than like any NFL player. I feel like. It's just, I don't know, like dribbling a basketball every day as your job just gets you way better with the ball in your hand or ball in your hands than somebody who just doesn't do that on a day-to-day basis.
The only counter is these guys, everybody that's in football size shape, I'm agreeing with you. Like the NBA it would be a closer game playing their not sport.
Yeah.
But if you ever watch an offensive lineman retire and then come back, it's a different human.
Meaning,
because NFL offensive linemen are carrying around like just 60 pounds of just weight.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not 60. It's like they're just carrying around weight because they need to.
Need it, yeah.
So if they have a whole offseason to just drop it, like Joe Thomas is a great example. If you look up Joe Thomas playing football as opposed to Joe Thomas now, it is remarkable.
Like he looks a lot slimmer.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Ooh. Anyways, you think we've reached a end to this segment?
To this part for sure.
Okay.
So I think we also we didn't wrap up Montenegro, but I feel like that game was just weird. The U.S. just didn't play great to start, and then they started to, which was nice to see.
Yeah, Ant picked it up. He was player of the game for me. I kind of spoiled that already, but 27 minutes, he had 17 points. Triple J had a pretty good game. He only had 2 fouls this game.
Also he played 20 minutes. Yeah,
20 minutes, 11 points, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 or 5 from the field. And then, Nikola Vucevic was obviously the player of the game for if you had say who is the player of the game out of both sides, it would probably be Vucevic, with 20, even though they were the losing team, but he had 18 points, 16 rebounds, 2 blocks in 26 minutes. So, and then on to the Lithuania game, this was the one we lost, which I forgot to mention with Montenegro. We won 85-73. The Lithuania game, we lost 110-104, and that game was ugly from the start. We made a comeback in the second half to get it closer. We cut the lead down to like 4, I think, for a while.
So I thought I kind of thought if they would, I assumed that the scoring tap would shut off to a certain extent. Just the stuff that was going in, I thought would eventually just stop going in for no reason, but it didn't. So I thought we were going to battle back and get it done.
Me too.
Because it was the first quarter that is what murdered us. So looking at the quarter breakdown, lost the first quarter 31-12. Won the second 25-23. Won the third 28-17, and then tied the fourth quarter. So like going out of that third, I was like, okay, we're battling back, like it's getting closer. And then the fourth, they just started making everything. We also were. But ours made more sense to me. Because for sure. The shots we took were like, okay, it's a good look. Yeah. Not just like balls out of bounds, jump, grab it right before, and just like
throw it up. Yeah, that was the one from Kuzmankis, I think is how you say his name. He used to play for the Knicks. But Anthony Edwards was like, he knocked the ball out and they were scrambling for it, and he just picks it up and throws it up from like the corner 3, and it just goes in. That was the shot that, like what you're talking about, you thought that it would eventually slow down and we would, like it would even out. We would take the lead. Like that was the shot where I was like, okay, this game is just broken. Like
someone messed with the sliders. This is not right.
Yeah. And that happened like late in the game. That was in the fourth quarter. It was like 91-85 when that shot went up. And then
made it a 9-point game.
Yeah, that made it 94-85. Yeah, so that was a big moment. And there was also, they broke the all-time FIBA record for hottest start to it, like 3-point shooting start to a game, where they started 9 for 9, made their first 9 threes. Lithuania did. Which is just pretty crazy. They're known for being good shooters, but the guys that were making their shots at the beginning were not like their shooters. Like it was just like, Valanciunas is a pretty good shooter. He made one of them. But the guy who made the first one was like one of their only guys that's like, let him shoot. You know what I mean? And he was just nailing them. It was just like everybody just had it clicking for them, and the U.S. like definitely did not, especially in the first half. Everybody was just kind of missing everything. But Ant ended that game with 35 points. He was the player of the game for sure. 29 minutes, he had 35 points, 3 steals. Oh, yeah, and I forgot to mention, this was a Lithuanian team without Domantas Sabonis as well. So, their lone like NBA star was Jonas Valanciunas. But they had a few like familiar faces like Kuzmankis that I mentioned before. Guys that have been
around.
Yeah.
Brazdeikis.
Yeah, Ignas Brazdeikis. Monte also.
Yep.
He used to play for the Rockets back in the day. But yeah, there a couple of the notes I have written down. I had messy possessions. There's just like a lot of our possessions offensively was like, even the ones where we didn't turn it over, it was like nothing was going, like everybody was kind of like standing still and there was nothing really happening. And the shot clock would like all of a sudden be about out, and we would have to just settle for some like stupid shot. And then just like every game so far, the turnovers have been killing us, especially those traveling calls. Like we literally get one of those where the player takes off and gets called for a travel before like the ball reaches the floor. One of the, like at least 2 or 3 of those happen every single game for the US. Anthony Edwards has had a few lately. It was Brandon Ingram that was having a ton of them at first, but now it's been Edwards with a lot of them. But yeah, I think that probably does it for the Lithuania game. I don't think that we would lose that game if we played it again.
Yeah, no, I do not think so.
Yeah, that was a kind of a unique. That's kind of just what happens with basketball, especially this is like a smaller sample type thing because it's it's like you're only playing one game against teams, and also the games are shorter. You're only playing 10-minute quarters instead of 12, which just makes things a little bit more variable. But honestly, I do kind of like this format, though, watching FIBA games versus NBA. I'm not saying I would prefer these games over NBA games, but the advantages that I do see to it is like I do like it being shorter. Like it's more digestible, being a little bit shorter. Also, the game just moves faster for the most part. Like there's less stoppages, a lot less commercials. There's so many less commercials during FIBA games than in NBA games. Just way less breaks for stuff like that. Also, one thing I do love is something that definitely happened in this game that we watched today. Was in the FIBA broadcast, they have the refs mic'd up, and so you can hear the refs like basically at all times. And especially when they go into like reviews, you can hear them talk the entire time as they're doing the review, which I prefer that to the NBA. Like the NBA, like the refs are like talking, you can't hear them at all until like the head of the crew comes over after they've decided and then presses that button to like turn the microphone on, and then he talks into the microphone saying what the call is.
Mm-hmm.
But this way, like you can literally hear the refs like talk through, like discuss why they think the call is what it is, and like come to their decision. I like that more because then it eliminates them having to like really announce it. Like you just kind of hear it as they do it, and you get more of the reasoning why they decide on what they decide on. So that's one thing that I like, but. The rest of the stuff that happened in today's game with Italy, Mikal Bridges was the player of the game for me. And so that's his first player of the game. Ant's the only one with multiple, I think. He has 3.
Well, it was interesting to me because in the prelim, like the showing off ones, what are they called? The
showcase.
The showcase. Ant was like the dude.
Yeah. Especially for that last one.
First couple like actual games, Ant was still good, but he wasn't like this. Like, oh, he's our guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, just was like
against Jordan,
which was weird because you didn't. It just looked like he was hot, so he just started burying it. But then he just kept doing it against like teams that are, no disrespect to the people of Jordan, better at basketball. So he just like. Yeah, that's like what turned it on, and then he just kept doing it. And I was like, okay, we have a guy that can be a guy when things get close. Even if you've got a bunch of elite scorers, like it's still you usually go to a guy.
Yeah.
And Ant, I think, will be that guy when we take on. We have the winner of? We don't have Canada.
No, they're at the other side of the bracket from us.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Let me go look at the bracket
it's
again.
The winner of Germany, Latvia.
Yeah.
Without Kristaps.
Mm-hmm. But they've still been.
No, they've still been
formidable.
The Bertans
brothers, yeah.
Yeah, also, guy like 4 months ago, Davis Bertans. I get that's how you say his name. I think I said David Bertans.
Oh, yeah.
This was months ago on TikTok.
I think he said he didn't even talk about the first name though. He said it's Bertans, not Bertans. Like
I'm sure I said Bertans because I'm stupid.
I'm sure
that's what happened.
Yeah, I'm confused about that clip because you said it both ways during that clip. Like,
did I fix it the second time at least?
Yeah, like you said Bertans the first time, and then I said Bertans, and then I think I even said Bertans at one point too. Like we both said
contagious.
Both.
My stupidity is contagious.
But like that's not even like that wild. Like I've listened to clips of him saying it. He doesn't. He says it kind of in between ish. Like it's very like fast but anyways, the I just love the commenter of how he thought he was being clear or like helpful by saying just spelling without like any change in like how you spell it. It is Bertans, not Bertans.
It is Bertans, not Bertans.
Yeah.
There was like,
and I replied to that and I was like, thank you. Like that was very helpful. But yeah, it would make more sense if we were saying it one way, you know, that entire video, and he's just saying like it's the other way, not that way. But like the thing is, we both said it both ways during that video, so I don't know what he's. Yeah, I'm not sure which one he was saying it was. But based on hearing Bertans say it himself, it's more of a Bertans. And actually, if we're being more correct, he in his accent he puts more of the emphasis on the first syllable, so it's like Bertans or like Bertans, like that type of thing.
That was Bertans.
Yeah.
Tim Hortons? Is he Canadian? Just kidding. Bertans.
Yeah. Bertans. But that just sounds weird. It feels like accents are weird like that. It's kind of
well, and names are also weird because someone could have something and it just like that doesn't make sense, but it's their name, so they're right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we're in Nebraska. There's a lot of towns all over Nebraska. We both went to a high school, Milford, Milford, Milford. There's a town further west that goes, it's Hemmingford. But if you call it Hemmingford, there's a problem. There's a town in Nebraska that is spelled Hooper. How do you think you say it?
I don't even know if I know this one. Hooper. Hooper.
Hupper.
I've never heard that. Where is that town?
It is like
out by you.
No, it's Fremont-ish.
Oh,
I'm in
okay. So near me.
Kind of, yeah.
I thought you said you didn't want people to know you were from Kearney.
It was on the clip where I like started saying street names and like gave away exactly where I lived.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that I was
okay. Like, okay. I thought you said I don't.
And also after the fact, I was like, that was dumb. It doesn't really matter. If somebody comes and kills me, it'll be a cool story on the internet. Podcast blows up.
Yeah. Very true.
But no, yeah. But anyway, it's Hooper. There's a lot of them. They're all over the place.
I thought you were going to go with some of the ones that are like famous cities and other
Kearney.
No. Oh, wait. Oh, maybe. I was thinking like ones that are famous cities in other countries or other places, but we say them differently. Like Cairo, like we say Cairo.
Oh,
like
there's a Cairo, Nebraska, and it's Cairo, Egypt. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a couple like that. There's Beatrice.
Madrid.
Oh, Madrid instead of Madrid.
No, it's Madrid.
Madrid.
It's like, but you don't emphasize it as aggressively, but it's there's that one. Beatrice instead of Beatrice. A lot of people think it's Beatrice.
Yeah.
Norfolk.
Do you know the story on that one? The Beatrice one or Beatrice
it's
one? It's
crazy because the girl's name was Beatrice.
Well, her name was, it was Beatrice, but she, as a joke, introduced herself. Like, so she was the daughter of like some explorer, I guess.
Person. Okay.
That founded the town, maybe. But so she introduced herself to all the people that they met on like their expedition as Beatrice, as her, like she would say that her name is Beatrice as a joke, like just pranking people, basically making them believe her name was pronounced a different way. But so then when they named the town, they named it after her and pronounced it that way in honor of her, basically.
That's actually hilarious. But what's weird to me is it makes sense, but we're like in the explorers, like obviously explorers found everywhere, but like it's just weird to think that like all these places aren't that old. Like 150 years is like all over where I'm at. It's the 150th anniversary year celebration of the town. That's only like 3 generations away, 4.
Yeah, it's like the late 1800s, right?
150. 73.
Yeah. So, because Nebraska was founded in 1867 as a state. It was founded as a state.
March 2nd. Right?
Yeah.
March 2nd.
I think
March
so.
March 2nd, 1867.
Mm-hmm.
State number 32.
I'm not sure about that one. But
no, it's 34. Right. It's 34.
But, yeah, anyways, I don't remember. Oh, we were talking about how to pronounce
37. I always think there's too many sevens, but it's 37th.
Dang. There's too many sevens? What does that mean?
No, so I feel like I like trivia. So I always like when you remember stuff, I feel like
everything's 7.
But there's too many sevens, like 1867. I'm like, there's not going to be both 7s.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Your brain automatically is thinking everything. Like you think of 7 too often, and so you're trying to course correct. Like, oh, it's probably not 7.
It's not the 37th. It's something else.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, in fact, 37th.
Yeah.
State added to the union.
Makes sense. Yeah, I do that sometimes too. Like how I remember certain things, like how to get to a certain person's house or something like that. Like I think every time I come to this turn, I'm like, oh, it's the opposite of what I would think it is. But then over time, I forget on what I would intuitively think it is. And so I get confused on which one it actually is.
Yeah. No, it's a nightmare.
Yeah. But anyways, we were talking about pronunciations of Bertan's name. So Latvia, we play the winner.
We'll take on Latvia after they play tomorrow as the little appetizer before what might be the game of the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm excited for this Slovenia-Canada one.
Yes, I agree.
Yes, Slovenia-Canada. It will be
the matchup of the two best players in this entire tournament. Luka Doncic versus Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
And isn't Luka the only NBA or current NBA guy?
Yeah, since Vlatko towards ACL. Yeah.
And then
Dragic's brother's playing, which I think he was in the G League at one point.
But Goran's not, right?
Yeah, Goran's not.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is his brother's name Zoran?
Yeah, Zoran Dragic.
I just feel like that's weird. Would you name it like I don't know, maybe, and I'm sure in other cultures it's more normal, but I just feel like that's a little different.
Yeah, I think that in
would you name one kid Ryan and one kid Brian?
Yeah, see, like
but like that's weird to me.
Yeah,
right?
that's more weird here. That's more weird here for sure. But like, there's a lot of like family. I don't know, like in Eastern European countries, especially, it seems like there's a lot of that kind of stuff where like they name their kids like in a certain pattern. But like I know a family that I think that both the parents and all of the children all have names that are like Terry, Barry, Larry, Gary. Like all of them are those names, which is pretty wild.
Wow. That's quite unique.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of international name, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard Germany has an office that like when you go to name your baby, they check it. And if it sounds like some stupid made up stuff, they go, nope.
Yeah, there's a lot of countries, or not, I shouldn't say a lot. I just know Iceland
would love to have that job in the United States.
Oh.
I would not want to work for the government, but I would love to be, oh, here's the baby name. It's ABCD, ABCDE. Nope.
Yeah, I don't know if it's as arbitrary as that, but I think they have like certain, like Iceland literally has a list of valid names. If you don't have it, if you don't choose a name,
you have to like appeal.
Yeah. Like and also there's names in Iceland that are considered girl names and names that are boy names. There's no names that work for both.
Okay.
So you have to choose a girl name or a boy name.
The list of names that work for both is way shorter than what is publicly recognized. Like there's some names that I've seen named both, but I'm like, is that really a girl name?
Like,
is that really a boy name? I'm not going to say it.
Oh,
because these go on our Facebooks, and then the people will see.
I mean, I don't put every single second on Facebook.
Oh, that's true, and nobody listens. Like I've only ever met one girl, Tanner, very nice lady, but I just don't think of it as a girl name.
Yeah,
you know. Mm-hmm. Or I met a Logan. That's a girl. That one's more common as a girl, but I know a bunch of dude Logans. By far, way more dude Logans. Apparently, Avery goes both ways. Didn't learn that one until the naming of children.
Yeah, you did. You knew that.
That Avery is a boy and a girl name?
Yeah. You know why I know you knew that? Because Avery Bradley. played.
That doesn't mean I don't think I had a girl name.
What?
Because I thought Avery had a girl. I thought Avery Bradley had a girl name.
Oh, I thought you said that you didn't know that anybody was named Avery as a boy.
I didn't know that people recognized it as like a both.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking of it like, okay, I'm thinking more of like, do you know literally anybody that's a boy that has this name?
No, sorry. I was more conveying the like, oh, this is recognized as a name that works both ways.
Yeah.
And there's just some where I'm like,
It's definitely a spectrum. Like Avery's more than like Tim. You know, you know what I mean? Like Tim is like pretty only,
much.
You know what I mean? Like Avery's like at least a little bit, but yeah, I've always felt that way about like Bailey too. I feel like that's a name that I've heard that people say that there's guys named that. I've never met one, but I feel like people like that's a famous one of like people say it's gender neutral, but I've like every Bailey I've ever met is a girl.
I'm honestly all the dudes I can think of with the last name Bailey, it's their last name. It's not their first name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've heard mutually like through people named Bailey that are boys, but I've never actually met one or heard or like actually, you know, a celebrity even or something like that. I don't think. But anyways,
crazy. No,
given
it's all good.
A lot of bonus content on this episode.
People like it sometimes, or they really don't. I don't know. I don't have the TikToks. So I don't know.
I haven't posted also any
bonus content is TikToks.
Other than unless you count the Grady Dick outfit
as bonus content.
Yeah, which I did get a comment on YouTube of a guy saying like, I don't care if he showed up in a pink tutu, like why, like just talk about his basketball game. Why I don't care about what he's wearing, type of thing. And I was basically like, you know, not everybody hates like joy and happiness like you do. Like people could talk about
also
both.
Respectfully, if you are only coming here for the hard basketball takes,
we have that, but like
I serve no purpose.
Yeah, but I just mean like there's room for both. We have plenty of airtime to talk about basketball.
Yeah, Google what they talk about samurais. Whoever invented the concept of a samurai said you got to have a little bit of both. Got to know how to write calligraphy and stuff.
Oh.
And be a deadly guy. Got to have balance in your life.
Gotcha.
It's the way of the samurai.
That was a very deep, like profound poll that you just did there.
No, yeah, give it a goog, everyone.
Yeah. All right.
But with that being said, do we have anything else FIBA wise? We've got I guess we very briefly touched on the torching. It just seemed like the United States was like, okay, it's over. Second half. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Yeah, the player of the game, I think I mentioned it was Mikal Bridges, but I didn't say why he was the player of the game. He was hitting just about every shot. He played 18 minutes. He had 24 points, 7 rebounds, 8 of 11 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3. Then Tyrese Halliburton, I think, was a pretty close second.
6 for 8 from 3-point land. That's wild.
Yeah, he was nailing a lot of them. But he had 20 minutes, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 6 of 9 from the field. But yeah, so that was the USA versus Italy game. I think I mentioned, Fontecchio had 18 points. He fouled out. Nicola Melli, there was that one unsportsmanlike foul that he drew from Brandon Ingram, which was funny because they were former teammates on the Pelicans. But yeah, that is where the commentary, I guess, ends for FIBA so far. I think this team is really fun to watch, has been fun to watch, and hopefully we continue this run.
Get to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Because for those who don't know, if we lose now, we're done. So we're in.
They don't do a third, fourth game. I can't ever remember.
Oh, maybe. I guess they might. I just see one bracket here though when I look on the FIBA website, so I don't know if there is a consolation bracket.
Okay. Well. Oh, there is.
Oh, yeah, there's
on
a
the day of the
place
final.
Game. Yeah.
So we get what if they lose? We get 2 more games no matter what.
Yeah, but if we lose, we won't get gold,
which is the only thing we're there for. So
yeah,
better than the crap. I almost said an inappropriate word. Better than the performance when they got 7th last time.
Yeah. Yep, last FIBA, we finished 7th. So, yeah, better showing that already. I think we've already eliminated ourselves or cleared that bar. Because if that would have been if we would have lost this past game and won the next one. If we would have lost against Italy and then won the next game after that, we would have gotten 7th, I think. Right? Because there's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Yeah, 7, 8. So if we would have lost in the first round and then won, or maybe if we would have lost and then won, that would have got us 7th. But I think Jacob is done talking.
I thought we were, so I did it, and then I realized you were still going, so I just kind of sat there, and then I realized that I think it was messing up the recording. like it threw up this blank box that said Jacob's screen. I don't know if you saw that.
Or no, I didn't see anything.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think maybe I wasn't looking at the screen when it happened. But
do you see this?
No, I don't see anything right now.
Perfect.
Okay. Oh man, that's fun. It's always funny when like I can tell that you're like distracted by something and I'm just talking and I'm waiting for a response and I just have to like carry myself out of it. But yeah, so I think that'll do it for this episode. For those who don't know, I don't know if we've mentioned in this recording, but we are going to record once again today here in a few hours. We're going to come back and record for a top 10 players heading into this next NBA season, the 2024 season, which is wild to even think that that's the next NBA season, 2024.
And I've got 2 lists. I've got what I think it is going in and what I think it'll be going out.
Ooh.
We don't need to actually but just as like a, ooh.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Do we want to wrap up with the
dozen? Yeah, we can do that. But yeah, that top 10 list I think will be good. We'll probably enter it from an angle like Jacob was saying, where looking at who could vault themselves into that position. There'll be a lot of. It's not as easy as you think. Discussion.
Everybody, sit down right now. Write down the top 10 players in the NBA. You're like, okay, 1, easy, and then you're like 2, okay, yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you start going like, wait.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys that could.
Once you get into like the under 5, maybe a little bit further than that, you just start to get to like. Honestly, a very interesting list could be like 5 through 15 is also a compelling list. But anyway,
true. That's where it gets messy. Yeah.
This is just a sports and not sport trivia. Sorry, random guy that hates fun. This is fun. So we will start. And it covers, usually has NFL and NBA. I feel like it almost always has at least a basketball question.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, NFL, the Rams' all-time career leader in tackles is a former Ohio State Buckeye and is also the son of former pro wrestler Road Warrior Animal.
I have no idea.
Rams, Buckeye.
Not going to be able to
tackles. I don't know how to spell his name. Laurinaitis. James, or maybe if I do this, I think it's James Laurinaitis. James. Oh
yeah.
Laurinaitis. Whatever. Bang!
There you go.
He was like one of the bright spots for the very bad St. Louis teams, and he was there before, I think. Oh!
In February 2013, this Western Conference team became the first team to kick off the trend of sleeve jerseys in the NBA.
Is it Clippers?
I think it would be the Clippers.
Clippers was the first one that popped into my head. And for those that can't see, we have a grayscale image of what I'm assuming the jersey is, just with like
the stuff photoshopped off.
Because the one I remember is those like baby blue ones as their first ones that I remember.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And this, just judging off this person's stature, it looks like Chris Paul. Yeah.
So Clippers.
Oh, we got it wrong. That's our first time getting a question wrong. It could be
2013. Warriors were 16 when they did that.
I mean, I don't know when they first wore them. It could be 2013. It might be the Warriors, honestly. It could be the Heat.
It was Western Conference.
Oh, it said Western Conference. Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was probably the Warriors.
Dang. Feels bad. Okay.
So that could have been Steph in that picture.
I know this one right off the rip. Do you?
This is the Fever, right?
Oh, boy.
I don't even know where they're from.
Oh.
Is it Indiana?
Yeah, it's Indiana Fever.
Okay. Geography. That is that a country? Okay, yeah, that's Netherlands.
Bang. Oh. I got
outside. That's Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel is the inside. Who's the outside?
Lena Dunham, I think. She directs like a lot of girl boss movies.
Yeah.
It's like an interesting lady.
Yeah. There we go.
Recently discontinued a supermarket operator, Kroger sold the soda brand The Physicist, a generic version of what popular mainstream. I know this one. It's punny.
Punny? Okay, I've never even heard of that. I was just going to say, I don't think we mentioned what the last question was for the audio listeners was celebrity mashup. It was two celebrities put together.
Yeah, so the inside, it was like Lena Dunham's body with Vin Diesel's face, and it is exactly as cursed as you thought it would be.
Yeah.
But it's punny? You never heard the expression punny?
Okay. Oh, isn't it expression? I thought we were talking about like a drink. Recently discontinued supermarket operator Kroger sold the soda brand The Physicist, a generic version of what popular mainstream soda? Yeah, I've never heard of punny as a popular mainstream soda.
It's not a drink. I'm saying punny as in the answer is punny. I was giving you a chance to like guess.
Oh, you're giving me a hint. Oh.
Yeah, it's The Physicist is punny.
The Physicist is punny.
Off of what the actual drink is, yeah.
Kroger sold the soda brand The Physicist, a generic. Oh, so it's like a great value version
of a.
Okay, Physicist.
In the cathedrals of soft drinks.
It has to do with science.
Kind of, yeah.
Really? Oh, so like Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea. Physicist was a type of Dr. Pepper.
It's a knockoff.
I've heard of a lot of Dr. Pepper off brands, but never that one.
Often airing following The Bachelor, ABC debuted this medical drama in 2017 featuring Freddie Highmore in the lead role as Dr. Sean Murphy. I know this one.
The Bachelor, ABC.
Freddie Highmore is the guy that always plays an autistic, not always, very frequently acts as his roles. He's an autistic, like he was in August Rush. He was in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He was in.
Oh, was he the kid?
Yes, very frequently he acts as.
What's that called? Spiderwick Chronicles or something like that?
Yes, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dr. Sean Murphy is what?
Is this the Good Doctor?
It is.
Okay. Nice.
Ooh, if I can spell doctor.
Doc Rot.
Movies. Tom Hanks' third best actor nomination in the Oscars and a second win in a row came for this 1994 movie directed by Robert Zemeckis.
1994. Is that Forrest Gump? Yeah.
Zemeckis is the only reason I knew it was Forrest Gump. I
don't even know who that is.
The director.
Yeah. I get that. But
in 2006, this rock band named after its frontman, a former American Idol contestant.
Daughtry?
Yep, it's over.
I didn't even read the rest of it. I just guessed based off of the first half of the
clue. A former American Idol contestant, and it's named
after the frontman, yeah. Daughtry.
Ooh, we have a double dip.
What does that mean?
You've answered one question incorrectly. Do you want to retry one of them?
Yes, of course.
Because we know it.
I'm pretty sure this is the Warriors. If it's not, then it could be.
Okay, who do you remember having these short sleeves?
Yeah, Timberwolves.
Is it Grizzlies?
I don't remember the Grizzlies having them at all.
Maybe I'm combining stuff in my brain.
They might have. I remember Timberwolves, I remember Clippers, and I remember Warriors.
Before they made the entire NBA do them for Christmas.
Yeah. Which was all the teams that just played on Christmas. Which was like 8 teams probably. I can't think of any other teams wearing those in the West, really. Other than like the Rockets, maybe. That's not a Rockets jersey. I don't think. This looks like Steph. It could. I think
I thought it was Chris Paul, but it could be Steph.
It could be Steph. I think it's the Warriors.
It was the Warriors.
Sweet. There we go. Redemption.
Okay.
So every time we've gotten 9 correct.
Just needed to use the double dip once.
Yeah.
People struggled with geography. Celebrity mashup. People probably didn't know Lena Dunham.
That geography one I thought would be pretty easy.
Well, it's in Europe, and there's like a bunch of these little island things. Like there's only.
That's what I'm saying. It's like Netherlands is a very unique looking border.
If it was like France is not great, but like you take France and Germany, it's just like a big kind of blocky thing.
Yeah. I guess
if you know, you know.
Yeah,
but if someone doesn't know.
I play Worldle a lot, which we want to end this by playing Worldle.
Sure.
We could do the whole the 4-game thing that wait, or I can share my screen for this one. Unless you got it there.
I got it.
Okay. All right, so this is in Africa. I believe that's Mozambique.
Oh, do you want to do an outro for the audio listeners?
Oh, that's true.
Because they probably don't care.
Yeah. Well, that just kind of complicates things, honestly. They can just listen to this ending if they want to. If they want to keep listening. If not, they can end it here. But thank you for listening if you're listening on audio.
Go to patreon.com/hoop theory or buy Logan a coffee.
Yeah.
I just show up.
And does a great job.
On to Wordle.
Worldle. Yeah. Also rate the show if you're listening on Spotify. Do that. It's shows our show as 5 stars now because we have enough ratings to where it actually like displays the rating. But we want more, a bigger sample size.
How many do you have to get a 5-star rating? Like,
I don't know.
To show?
I'm not sure.
Oh,
but we have enough now.
Heck yeah.
I'm guessing just like a handful, probably like 5.
But that's honestly more than I thought we'd have.
Yeah.
Because I haven't done it.
Yeah. So I believe this is Mozambique. I want to say. There we go.
Bonus round of guessing neighbors?
Yes, of course. We're doing all these bonus rounds. All right, so number 1, that is Eswatini, I think is how you pronounce it. I believe that's Eswatini. It could be Botswana. Okay, that's Eswatini. Number 2 is Malawi, Malaw. I'm kind of broken at this game, by the way.
Yeah.
Number 3, that is, you think you can get this one? Right?
I'm honestly lost.
South Africa is number 3.
Oh, I know where we're at now.
Yeah, we're down at the very southern tip of Africa. Number 4, that would be Tanzania. Yeah. Number 5, I think that is Zimbabwe. Either Zimbabwe or Zambia. Okay, number 6 was Zimbabwe. So 5 is Zambia.
Also, while we're talking about this world thing, I've reevaluated, and I think the thing that gets me more fired up about the Noah Lyles thing is the energy he came at it with. I don't think the sentiment, like if he wants to argue that, is a little weird, but it's more like just the energy of like signaling out the NBA, and then being so like weird about it. I don't think it's like, I don't personally get it. I don't think it's wrong. I think it's weird, but like I get it to a certain extent. It's not like a logicless statement, but the energy was the problem that I had.
I agree. The thing that I will say, and I kind of wanted to talk about this again, but I didn't want to be annoying and do another episode about this again. But the thing I will say is the point that all these people on the camp of like saying he's right are all clinging on to is just annoying to me, because it's like they are correct in the most meaningless way possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're like,
you are not wrong.
Technically, they are the champions of this domestic league, so you can't say that you're the world champion. It's like, okay, why are you the person who gets to define what world champion means? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, shouldn't it be the best team out of like the best athletes in the world at this sport? You know, that's just annoying to me. That why does that not constitute a world champion? And what does is some of the best players choosing to represent their country in a Olympic competition, because like, you know, not all the best players, like in this FIBA tournament, like we're talking about, Jokic isn't playing for Serbia. Giannis isn't playing for Greece. Kristaps isn't playing for Latvia.
So like, and then
it's like
Jason Tatum isn't playing for Team USA. AD isn't playing for Team USA.
They're prioritizing. You know why? Because they're prioritizing the NBA. That is why.
Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because I don't like the argument, if for lack of a better word, that he was making isn't like an illogical, like dumb thing, but it's just the energy he came at it with, ignoring every other thing that does it, and then being right in the most meaningless way possible.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. They're correct in the most meaningless way possible. If anything, like I said, this was a tweet I made a while ago, but I thought it was a good line to probably put in here in a podcast. Honestly, I think we could take it a step further and call them the galactic champions of like the universe.
We don't know if Monstars are real. If there's like
until there's somebody to contest it, we can say it.
That's fair. The galactic champions of the universe.
Of the cosmos. We'll say that.
Cosmos, yeah.
The galactic champions of the cosmos.
No, but watch it. There's literally just like, what if Giannis is an alien? I'm pretty sure that there's already been like a cartoon based on this. That like
Space
NBA
Jam?
players are aliens. No. Space Jam is like aliens absorb power of other NBA players and then became.
Yeah. So what are you talking about?
No, I'm saying that like, what if like
Giannis is an alien?
And I'm saying Giannis because he's just like this physical specimen of like, I am basketball. I could have said anybody before somebody starts saying weird stuff because he's Greek. Anyway.
Because he's a Nigerian Greek alien.
Has nothing to do with that at all. It is exclusively, he's just this specimen. Like if there's just like an entire planet full of Giannis's, they would kick the crap out of us in basketball.
Probably. Yeah.
Like respectively. But yeah. What is the capital of Mozambique?
Okay. I wish this was multiple choice because then I might be able to tell you. Mozambique. I think it has something to do with. It kind of sounds like phonically, it's kind of like Mozambique, but it's like might not start with an M. Just type Zam. No. Maybe type Beak. This might be one where I'm kind of cheating. Won't actually look up what it is. I'll just go to maps and hover over so I can see some cities. But that usually can give you a pretty good idea. Yeah, capitals is the one I'm less broken at. Oh, so the one that I'm confusing with is Malawi. So like the country right above it, Malawi, its capital is Lilongwe.
Oh.
Or Lilongwe or whatever. Mozambique's capital is Nampula. I saw it and I remembered it because I've known the capital of all.
No, it's not.
It is not, apparently. What would it be then? Oh, Maputo. Maputo. It's got to be that one. Okay. Play bonus round. The flag. I would go bottom left. Nice.
What is the estimated population of Mozambique? Under 10 million?
I think it's probably B or C. I would say B.
It is C?
C.
And
barely.
What currency is it?
It could be dollar. Mozambique has got to be French, right? It's probably a French place.
What was the capital?
It was
Again?
Maputo.
Is it Pula? Oh, never mind. I thought it was Mapula, like Mapula. Pula.
It could be dollar. I know that Zimbabwe or Zambia, which is not too far away, it borders it. They are English speaking, and I'm pretty sure they have dollar as their currency. So it could be dollar. I'll just do that. Oh. Metical. But so yeah, now go to Statal. We're gonna do the whole slate here, which is four games. Has it opened? I don't see anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got nothing on my screen. Oh, there we go. Oh, what? So you already did it? What? I missed all of that.
Oh, because I didn't realize. Because I'm
pretty sure that won't
in a new tab.
Oh, okay. Then I'm pretty sure they won't show up on the screen.
It was Wisconsin.
Yeah, and Jacob's just cooking through it without saying anything.
I forgot. The states that touch Wisconsin: Michigan, Minnesota, Illinois, and Iowa.
Yeah.
Capital Wisconsin.
That is Madison.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, the Danger Blues. I wonder which one it is.
It's got to be the one that says Wisconsin on it, I think.
Shout out to Wisconsin for having one of the greatest license plates of all time.
Oh, yeah.
What is the longest border with Wisconsin? I feel like it's the hug it gets from Minnesota.
It's got to be either. Yeah, it's got to be Minnesota.
The hug it gets from Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's like that entire. Yeah. What is the estimated population?
Probably 4 to 8, if not 1 to 4.
They've got quite a few big cities in there.
It's definitely not 8 plus.
Safe. I think 4 to 8.
It's probably 4 to 8. Like
Milwaukee?
Yeah. It's got it because Nebraska's what, 2.5, 3?
3-ish, probably.
So yeah, I'd say Wisconsin's got to be over 4.
Yeah. 4 to 8.
5.9. What is landmark associated to Wisconsin?
Mars cheese.
Anything with cheese in it. Yeah, it's got to be that. All right, now do where taken? Either world or U.S. Either one. That looks like Minnesota to me. Or Washington, maybe
Missouri, just immediately.
That might be true also.
Cliffs.
Yeah, anywhere along the Missouri or Mississippi River really could be. I would go Missouri.
Do you want to go with your gut of Minnesota, or do you want to go Missouri first?
Yeah, just go with Missouri. I think that's close. Probably.
So is it like a Tennessee or a Kentucky?
No, it's saying up to the northeast, 72%, meaning that it's like probably up at the border of Canada-ish.
Oh, okay. Would that be Minnesota? No, if it's northeast.
Yeah, northeast. It would be probably Michigan or Indiana or Michigan or Indiana or Wisconsin. One of those three. Could be Wisconsin again. I doubt they would do that, but try it.
Northeast of Missouri, Wisconsin?
Yeah. It's northeast.
Like northeast?
Yeah, but that's not north.
It's anything that's north. It's not like this arrow is not saying it's like.
I think the arrows are only straight up, 45 degrees or like.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So
this got to be Indiana or Illinois, I guess, but.
Illinois.
Oh, no, Illinois is
Ohio?
West. It's got to be Ohio then.
In the Ohio River Valley?
Yeah.
Nope.
Over again, Pennsylvania or West Virginia? Pennsylvania.
Delaware Water Gap in Pennsylvania. Very pretty picture.
It is. Bonus
What is the nickname of Pennsylvania? Keystone.
Is it?
I believe.
Yeah, sure. All right.
Pittsburgh is the city of.
None of those. I thought it was steel.
I don't think it's called the City of Steel. City of Love is Paris.
Okay, so then maybe it's sports. City of
Bridges came to my brain.
Okay.
State flower of Pennsylvania. That's a beautiful picture.
It looks like a purple lilac to me, maybe. Or mountain laurel. You go with your gut.
I know it's not a black-eyed Susan.
I don't think it's an iris.
I don't think that's what lilacs look like.
Okay.
And I have no idea what a mountain laurel is.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
What range is the average temperature in Pennsylvania in February?
February, probably either 30 to 39 or 40 to 49. Probably 30 to 39, I would think, right?
It's probably chilly. Yes, sir. Landmarks bonus round. Which landmark is in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, that one. The Bell, Liberty Bell.
What landmark? Oh, it is the Liberty Bell.
Spoiler.
And then the map. What is the capital city?
That's
a weird one, isn't it?
It's Hershey, I think, right? Or like
no,
it's not Hershey.
Is it Philadelphia?
It's not Philadelphia.
It's not Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's starts with an ace or an H. I mean, I just said not a letter. Harrisburg. Okay, that's why I was thinking Hershey. That's where Wilt Chamberlain is from, though. Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Where in Pennsylvania is Harrisburg?
The middle one.
This one?
Yeah.
What city was this taken? Oh. Do you see it? The center?
It could be Philadelphia. Probably is.
Because they're the Wells Fargo Center, aren't they?
That doesn't mean that anything with a center.
Are there?
I don't know. I mean, it could be either Philadelphia or Pittsburgh, maybe even Scranton. I don't know.
Send it with Scranton. Oh, this is Philly, right?
Probably. I've never been, but
I haven't either. But I'm thinking because NFL always does these like pans of the cities, and I've seen this statue before.
Yeah. So that could be the football stadium then?
Wasn't Philly.
Probably Pittsburgh.
Allentown? What's in Allentown? Why have I seen
it's probably a suburb. Oh, no, it's not. It's a pretty good city, actually. It's like equal distant from New York to Philadelphia. Not really in between, but it's like it makes a triangle with them.
Why do I feel like I've seen that picture? Whatever. And then we got there's a world one.
Yep. Same thing that we just did, but everywhere. What just happened?
I misinputted.
Misinputted, meaning you hit the wrong button. Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Is that a radio term?
No.
That looks like up
Norway.
North in the it could be Scandinavia. I was thinking east, like Russia.
Ooh.
But like Siberia. But like you could honestly, I think you're probably closer to right though. Like Iceland or Norway.
We will get a good.
Ooh, probably Iceland.
Because it's 1,400 kilometers away, but it's still 93. So, what landmark is in Iceland? I feel like
the bottom left. Yeah, it's got to be that. It's like the hot springs or whatever. Or whatever they call that.
The Blue Lagoon.
Hofburg Palace. I think it's probably top right.
Nope.
Oh, never mind. I think you might be right then. Yep. Nice. Blue Lagoon. What is the capital city of Iceland? Reykjavik.
I need help.
It's Rey. Yeah. Y. Reykjavik. Pretty sure they don't do C's very often. Like K is like K. It's that one. Mm-hmm. The base of the L.
I feel like
Which
this
city
is
in Iceland?
Husavik.
Could be. I think Reykjavik is like
the only
big city, but that could be the second biggest city here. I would go the bottom left, honestly. Akareri. Never mind. You do you.
It's just Reykjavik.
Should have just gone with it. But yeah.
That was a great episode.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
if anybody wants to watch us do these, let us know. If you just want to watch us play games, we will do that. Obviously, that's very easy way for us to pump out content if we just did something like that and recorded it, put it on YouTube. But yeah, good episode. Finally getting back into the games. I'm liking ending episodes of games. Makes it more fun. But we will come back at you later today with another episode. Please like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Rate, review.
Buy Logan a coffee. Patreon.com. And if you are a Patreon person, I will start vlogging my adventure to running a marathon. And you will get those videos. And those are the only people that will get them. I'm serious, though.
Exclusive.
No, because I've started. I'm dieting. I'm going to go eat lunch. Haven't eaten since supper yesterday.
When is the marathon?
I gave myself a long runway of 2 years.
Oh, okay. So have you even picked like a certain one, or you? Just
it'll be the Lincoln one, or the one that I could, or maybe it's like the Good Life marathon, whichever one I could get into. Because I know the Lincoln one's pretty busy because it's a qualifier for the Boston Marathon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that makes it a little bit busy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Are you gonna do a full marathon or like half?
Why do I do anything halfway?
I don't know. I mean, a half marathon, you can do a full half marathon. Yeah.
I can do a full marathon.
I suppose.
If some dude in ancient Greece can do it, I can do it.
And die? Didn't he die?
I might die too. Guess what? I'll wear a Hoop Theory t-shirt.
Okay.
It'll be a great story. Lots of clicks. Any publicity is good publicity. Anyway, I don't know if that'll be in there. Have a good day. That was a great Admiral episode.
Yeah. David Robinson. Episode 50.
See you later.
Landmark episode. Thank you for listening. We will talk to you guys next episode.
Peace.